Alright, welcome back to Bogus Fruitmaster, Anime Review, episode number 4. We are here reviewing episodes 9 and 10 for the series. Yep, 9 and 10. So, before I talk about the episodes themselves, I should point out though, there will not be reviews today of, well, because I did check. The newest episode of Reborn the Machine, newest episode of Reborn the Machine. I'm the separate. I recurring the separate, so I'll take time to perfect my magic ability. And new saga. There is no new dub episodes of these 3 shows this week, so basically the only new shows I'll talk about today are Dr. Stone and Donadon, and that's it. You're like, wow, that's it? Yep, that's it. Nothing else. Because I have to get those 2 anime, nothing new until Saturday. Which, it might be back to 3. I have not checked if Case Ghost is coming up this coming Saturday. I knew it would come out the last Saturday. But it might be 2 episodes, who knows. So, in the case of these 2 episodes, it's all focused on Lena in the town of Athena. Yes, this lake town, which they describe it. A little bit backstory of the town is that it was protected by a fairy. It was this fairy stone on the lake just outside of it. They refer to it as the lake capital. There's a stone in the middle of the water, actually about a couple miles from the shoreline, where it's meant to protect the town. It's basically kind of like an official guardian tower. They say that inside of the thing is the servant of the fairy king, which basically is the guardian of the town. And they have a festival celebrating it. And of course, Lena is here to look for Denitra, the necromancer she met back in episode 4 of the show. And she does find her. So she does ask about her, and apparently no one wants to talk about her. Yeah, it's later revealed exactly the reason for this, because she happens to run into, well, she follows a guy with red hair. His name is Yuna, and he works for Flower Hat, the head of the Investigation Bureau, which we last saw her back in episode, I believe it was 4, I think it was, yes, episode 4. So they reveal what is going on here, why does no one want to talk about this one woman. Is because of her skill? A little bit, yes, because apparently once she got that skill, her family fell to ruin. And Timothy thought she was cursed, or her father disowned her, sent her to a villa. Now I'm thinking, like, was she disowned? Oh yeah, by the way, she's also supported by the Holy Sister. You know, the main villain of the show. As for why in the world that she decided to support, apparently she supports troubled children for some reason. Because she's a nun. An evil nun, mind you. That's how the show portrays her, very evil. She's not cackling, laughing, it's just that she's just kind of evil. Because she has her own personal agenda that she wants to accomplish. So, in the case of... So, pretty much basically after Vector's ostracized, they just happen to find her. Well, first, they supposedly get some food. And it's like, okay, they make an order, and Leah's like, I thought we were here to investigate. Like, oh, don't worry. And then, of course, the woman who runs supposedly this restaurant opens this door, and they go down to the basement where there's a bar down there with an informant who gives info about basically her backstory. But it's like, if you give me a little money, I'll tell you where the location is. And like, nope, we did not agree to that, so Yuna decides to torture him for it, and oh yeah, she's actually in the theater district. Okay. Now Lena, of course, was told after she wants to work with them because she wants to track her down. Like, okay, one condition: you cannot question our methods. She kind of did. It's like, this is torture. Like, what are you doing? Well, she's not exactly chastising her per se for this. I think she said she can't exactly, she can't like say shush. You can't criticize her methods. And then they proceed to, we see where she's alive and well, surviving a mansion collapse How in the world she survived this? Well, they say she injured her leg. How? It's not specifically revealed here. They probably revealed it probably the last couple episodes. So then they just find her practicing dancing. Of course, they sneak in having basically Flower Hat and Yuna disguise themselves as dancers, with, of course, Yuna being the flutist. And they get no problem. And then they just happen to find her. Like, oh, there she is. It's like, you came with us? And like, yeah, of course, all she wants is a dance. And then Lena proceeds to take her off someplace and hopping across buildings thanks to her ability as a sword saint. Flowerhead is not exactly mad at her for this at all. Like, she's not like, grr, that woman. She's not like that. She's like, okay. Also, my birds will go find her. And they come back because they're frightened. Because when Lena first arrived in town, there's this elf. Now I'm thinking, an elf? That is interesting because this show has never shown elves before. Not that I can think of, no. Because what species have we seen throughout pretty much the whole series so far? Mostly humans. I'm like, is there any dwarves? Because it's supposed to be a fantasy show. I'm like, where are the dwarves? Where are the elves? We kind of see an elf. Oh, well, those mention of fairies. Okay, we acknowledge them, but what about the other fantasy creatures? Well, people anyways. They don't really acknowledge them per se. And then all of a sudden we have this elf who is sort of this tour guide, takes these couple to the fairy stone, and then, oh yeah, by the way, the reason they're frightened, and then of course Lena, while chatting with her, is like, oh yeah, and then like, ooh, is like these kids like very nice to her, but the parents are not, and then monsters start attacking. Yep, all because miasma's in the air, not in the air, because it's basically miasma portal. Like, you know what put miasma is basically demon. Let's just say it's associated with demons, like, and it's very poisonous to humans. Here, the miasma used to create portals. I'm like, that's interesting. That's very new. Yeah. So, creates portals, and all these monsters come out, and of course, Lena slices them up, and one girl's about to be attacked by monsters. So then Dinatra, she proceeds to use her necromancy ability to basically reanimate a dead monster who Lena just killed to save the girl from another monster. And there's also this mini, look like I'm not sure what creature this is. It's got like a barrier spell. We're protecting this couple. And of course, basically, Lena's like, oh, this is so cute. They're just like, okay. And then of course they figure out, and of course they reluctantly work together with Flower Hat and Yuna, and then they row out to the fairy stone. Of course they actually want to destroy it, but the nature does not want to destroy it because what's the purpose of dancers? Oh yeah, and of course you see him just playing, and then of course you have Lena attack him, just jump past his monsters, and you, oh yeah, he's a disciple of somebody who wants revenge for reasons. Sends a bunch of monsters out, and of course Yuna and Lena eliminate the monsters, and then the little creature makes crystals, which allows Lena to go up some steps. Also, Lena creates basically brings in the pieces of the monster she basically brought to make everything fly. Also reveal the whole thing with Flower Hat's ability, Scholar's Eye, where it gets her access to spells in the Holy City Library that were sealed because of her Scholar's Eye ability, and used it to attack basically the guy. His name is Argos. You think, wait, Argos? If you take out the S off there, it's similar to the Ben Affleck film Argo, which I've heard that movie is partially based on a real life story. So, then Lena proceeds to destroy the Fairy Stone. And Argos is like, well, that was unexpected. So I'm going to summon the Water God. And it's a wicked dragon. I'm like, damn. Oh, by the way, they do ask her before, where's Wicked Dragon she summoned? She said, I have no idea. Yeah, because she couldn't control a damn thing. She summoned it, but she couldn't control it. And now we have another Wicked Dragon show up, which they do know this thing looks different from the last one that was summoned. Which I look at the thing like, I would say the only difference is the head is slightly different and the wings are more decayed than the last one that was summoned. Yeah, there's not much difference. Otherwise, though, great 2 episodes, and I have roughly 2 more to go, and I'll be done with this, and I'll be starting my next anime, which will be, well, it's going to be an interesting one. Okay, so that's pretty much it for particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, when I get back, basically I'll talk about the last 2 episodes, do a Comic Con, and then on to my 2 brand new anime that came out today, and then I'll start my next anime. Okay, thanks for